Hello, my dear warrior. So specially you arrived, you are here. Welcome. Do you feel it? Probably not. Not yet. Because destiny doesn't knock, it doesn't announce. It moves in silence, like a grand master shifting pieces on a board while you're still staring at pawns. Right now, without you even realizing it, everything around you is aligning. The whispers you can't hear, the shifts you can't see, the doors you think are closed, destiny is adjusting them in your favor. And the best part? Your enemies don't know it either. They're laughing, they're plotting, they're convinced they're winning. But while they're blinded by ego, the ground beneath their feet is fracturing. You're not just playing the game, you are the game being rewritten by unseen hands. Every betrayal they threw at you, becoming a wall in your fortress. Every obstacle, becoming a force in your arsenal. You don't even realize it yet, but destiny is tilting the board, and the ones who mocked you are already crumbling. Your enemies walk boldly, don't they? Smirking, plotting, convinced they've cornered you. But what they don't see is the invisible countdown above their heads. Every fake laugh, every whispered scheme, every step they take against you, it's already unraveling. Destiny is moving the pieces while they still believe they hold the board. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to strike. You don't need to warn. You don't even need to react. The collapse is happening in real time. Their alliances are cracking, their confidence is leaking, their foundations are trembling under pressure they don't understand. And you're not chasing revenge, you're watching it unfold. That's the terrifying part. They expect chaos from your hands, but instead, chaos comes from the universe itself, and when the dust clears, they'll realize the cruel truth. Their downfall wasn't your doing. It was destiny cashing the debt they created. Here's the truth. Destiny doesn't rush. Destiny doesn't stumble. Destiny doesn't miss. It moves slow, calculated, unseen, like hands rearranging the universe while everyone else is distracted by noise. And right now, those who laughed at you, those who doubted you, those who built entire identities around your downfall, they don't even realize the trap is closing. Their pride blinds them. They think their foundations are solid, but every brick they stand on is loosening. Not because you touched it, but because destiny is tired of their arrogance. It's poetic, isn't it? The same people who mocked you are now unknowingly standing on ground that's crumbling beneath their own weight. And you don't need to lift a finger. You don't even need to be in the room, because destiny's reach is longer than your revenge, sharper than your anger. It delivers justice without you ever speaking a word. Right now, a storm is being fought in silence. Not with fists, not with noise, but with shifts so subtle they escape the naked eye. Doors are opening for you in places you haven't even walked into yet. Conversations are happening in rooms you've never entered, where your name carries more weight than the ones who tried to bury you. Meanwhile, your enemies, they don't see it. They think life is steady. They think they're secure, but their alliances are cracking. Their fake confidence leaking, their strategies rotting from the inside. That's destiny's design. It dismantles arrogance while building resilience. And you, the one they dismissed, are being moved like a king piece across the board. They can't touch you anymore because the game isn't theirs to play. The spotlight isn't theirs to hold. They're swinging at shadows while destiny tightens the grip around their false empire. And when it breaks, it won't be noise, it'll be silence. Here's what most never grasp. Destiny doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't build in the open. It stacks bricks in silence, while the world laughs at you for being still. Right now, without you even lifting a hand, forces bigger than you are arranging in your favor. Connections are being formed. You don't see. Doors are unlocking. You haven't touched. The spotlight is shifting in your direction, while your enemies are blinded by their own noise. They think their attacks matter, but every scheme they launch is another string tangled around their own feet. And you walk steady, unaware that the ground is being cleared ahead of you, unaware that their downfall is the very soil your rise is being planted in. Destiny doesn't argue. It positions. It doesn't negotiate. It rearranges. And while they waste energy trying to block you, Destiny already signed their collapse. Watch carefully. Their castles look tall, but the foundations are hollow. Every scheme, every mask, every performance they put on is cracking under the weight of Destiny's hand. They brag like kings, but their crowns are paper. They flex like giants, but their bones are brittle. They thought their laughter weakened you, but all it did was strengthen your silence. And now, that silence echoes louder than their noise. Their fake alliances are collapsing. Their secrets are surfacing. Their confidence is breaking brick by brick. Not because you touched them, but because Destiny is tired of their arrogance. That's the beauty of this moment. You don't need to force revenge, you just need to stand still. The same spotlight that refuses to leave you is exposing them. And when the walls finally cave, the streets will remember one truth forever. Out of all the noise, only you stood unshaken. You ever notice how storms shift without warning? Clear skies, 1 second, lightning, the next. That's how Destiny moves. Quiet, invisible, then suddenly undeniable. And right now, the tide has already turned in your favor. They don't see it yet, but you can feel it in the air. The spotlight is heavier on you. The silence is thicker around them. Every word they speak drips with insecurity. Every step they take feels uncertain, because deep down they sense it. Their season is ending, yours is beginning. They laughed when you were still. They mocked when you were patient. But patience was your greatest force. You let Destiny rearrange the field. And now the pieces are falling into place, each one cutting off their escape. And when the tide finally crashes, they'll drown not because of what you did, but because of what Destiny refused to let them escape. They still think they're in charge, don't they? Plotting, scheming, moving like their hands pull the strings. But the real game has already left their control. Destiny is the dealer now, reshuffling cards they never even saw coming. Every advantage they brag about is a trap disguised as victory. Every step they take forward is another step into quicksand. And you don't even need to touch the board. Your silence is enough. Your presence is enough, because Destiny already marked you as the piece that can't be captured. That's why they're restless. They can feel the shift but can't name it. They can sense the collapse but can't stop it. They mistake their moves for progress, but really, they're sprinting toward their own ending. The truth is simple. The board doesn't belong to them anymore. It belongs to Destiny, and Destiny is moving everything in your favor. Right now, your enemies look confident. They smile, they boast, they pretend the ground beneath them is steady. But Destiny is cruel. It works quietly, shifting foundations, loosening bricks, breaking chains they thought were unbreakable. They don't see it, but their empire is cracking in slow motion. One by one, their fake supports are falling. Their alliances are dissolving. Their strength is leaking away. And what's terrifying is they don't even realize it's happening. To them, everything feels normal until the collapse becomes impossible to ignore. And you? You won't need to lift a single hand. Their downfall is already written in silence, already etched into the script they can't edit. Destiny is dismantling their pride piece by piece until the same mouths that mocked you are left speechless, choking on dust as their false empires sink. They'll never understand how you kept moving without fighting back, how you kept breathing when the weight should have crushed you. They think you were weak, passive, easy to dismiss. But what they didn't see was the strategy of silence. Destiny itself, positioning you while disguising your growth. Every delay, every rejection, every closed door wasn't a loss, it was alignment. Pieces were shifting, boards were rearranging, and you were being placed in a seat they swore you'd never touch. That's why you don't have to match their noise, don't have to copy their chaos. Your strategy isn't revenge, it's destiny. And destiny doesn't lose. It bends circumstances, rearranges obstacles, flips enemies into architects of their own downfall. The same traps they set are collapsing under their weight, while you rise untouched. That's the secret they'll never admit. Your silence was never weakness. It was destiny, moving for you all along. While they wasted nights whispering your name with venom, destiny was whispering your name in rooms you didn't even know existed. Conversations you weren't present for, people you've never met, opportunities you didn't chase, already aligning in your favor. That's the invisible advantage they can't stop. Because while their voices cracked with gossip, higher voices were preparing doors only you would walk through. They thought you were alone, but you've been backed by forces they can't measure, by alignments they can't sabotage. That's why their strategies fail without explanation, why their confidence fades without warning. The truth is, you don't need to fight their noise when destiny is echoing your name in silence. That's what unsettles them most. They can feel it, but can't prove it. They can sense it, but can't stop it. You're not just surviving anymore, you're being positioned. And when destiny moves you forward, no enemy alive can block the path. Here's the twist they never saw coming. Destiny doesn't even need you to fight them. It uses their own hands to destroy themselves. Every lie they spun becomes a rope choking their reputation. Every trap they built becomes a cage locking them inside. Every insult they hurled becomes a mirror reflecting their weakness. They thought they were clever, untouchable, victorious. But destiny has been keeping receipts. And now the bill is due. That's why their smiles feel brittle, why their alliances feel shaky, why their confidence feels forced. They don't realize it yet, but their collapse is self-authored. You don't lift a finger. You don't have to, because destiny turned their ambition into ammunition against themselves. That's the cruel beauty of it. Their downfall doesn't come from you, it comes from their own choices, their own greed, their own betrayal. And nothing terrifies an enemy more than realizing they built their own undoing. Pay attention to the air. It's heavier now. That silence that lingers when your name is mentioned, that's not respect. That's fear dressed as quiet. They can feel it coming, though they can't explain it. Their instincts whisper what their pride refuses to admit. Destiny is about to snap the floor beneath them. And you don't even need to warn them. That's the beauty of this moment. Your silence is sharper than their noise. your patience louder than their rage. They expected chaos from you, but chaos is eating them instead. They expected you to collapse, but they're the ones trembling in shadows they created. The silence is their omen, the pause before the breaking, the calm before their storm. They mocked your stillness, but now it's haunting them, because deep down they know silence doesn't stay silent forever. It builds, it tightens, and when it finally erupts, it doesn't leave anything standing. Every mask they wore is slipping now. The fake laughter, the forced confidence, the staged victories, they're all unraveling under the weight of something they can't fight. Destiny doesn't let lies breathe forever. It peels back the layers, exposes the rot, reveals the truth they tried to bury. And here's the sting. The same people who once stood tall by mocking you are now shrinking under the spotlight. They can't control. They thought their illusions would last, but illusions crumble when reality walks in. And you are that reality. Not because you shouted louder, not because you begged to be seen, but because destiny chose to place you where they could no longer ignore you. That's why their voices crack now. That's why their alliances fracture. Truth is their greatest enemy, and destiny is dragging it into the open, piece by piece, until every lie collapses under the weight of its own spark. They expected you to fight back loud, to rage, to prove yourself with noise, but you didn't. You stayed silent, and that silence became the most dangerous force of all. Because silence means patience. Patience means calculation, and calculation means destiny has room to move, and it has. While they wasted breath trying to discredit you, destiny was shifting the stage beneath their feet. Now every word they spoke against you echoes back like a curse. Every scheme they launched ricochets into their own circle. They don't understand how you're rising without striking, but that's the point, you don't have to. Destiny is striking for you. Your quiet presence now feels heavier than their loudest screams, and it terrifies them. Because nothing unsettles an enemy more than realizing the person they mocked doesn't need revenge. They only need to stand still and watch destiny burn the battlefield for them. Time was their ally once. They thought every passing day made you weaker, smaller, easier to dismiss. But destiny flipped the clock. Now every tick is against them. Every sunrise erodes their false confidence. Every sunset tightens the trap they can't see. They believe they're stable, but stability is an illusion. Destiny is dismantling their pillars one by one. What they built in arrogance is collapsing in silence. And the irony? They're helping it fall. Their greed, their pride, their careless steps feed the very collapse they fear. Meanwhile, you move steady, untouched, guided by timing they don't control. You're not racing, you're not chasing, you're aligning. That's why you glow while they tremble, why you walk light while they drag chains of their own making. They don't know it yet, but the countdown isn't yours, it's theirs. And when the clock hits 0, only one throne will remain. Here's what they never calculated. You weren't weak. You were waiting. You weren't broken. You were building. Every scar they laughed at was quietly turning into steel. Every moment they dismissed you was another brick in your foundation. That's why destiny moves for you. It recognizes strength the world tried to bury. They thought patience was surrender, but patience was your battlefield. You let them waste their energy. You let them believe the lies they told about you. And all the while, destiny was turning their arrogance into proof of your resilience. And now, they're staring at someone they can't define anymore. You don't fit the box. You don't match the label. You don't play the part. You are something new, something unmeasured, something terrifying. And when enemies face what they can't predict, they crumble. Because destiny doesn't just build victories, it reveals the strength they underestimated until it's too late. Listen to them now. Their voices aren't steady. They tremble, they crack, they stall. Because fear doesn't need volume. It seeps into tone, it leaks into posture, it echoes in silence. They sense it, even if they won't admit it. Destiny has shifted against them. That's why their laughter feels forced, why their confidence feels rehearsed, why their words don't carry weight anymore. They're playing roles in a play that's already ended, but the audience, the streets, knows the truth. You don't need to confront them. Destiny is doing the talking for you. Every whisper of their fear is confirmation that the collapse is in progress. And soon, when the spotlight burns too bright, they won't just fear you, they'll fear what you represent. Proof that destiny doesn't side with arrogance. Proof that silence can crown kings. Proof that enemies crumble fastest when they never saw destiny moving against them. Look at them closely. Their smiles are heavy, their steps uneven, their confidence cracked. That's not coincidence. That's the weight of destiny pressing down on their backs. Every scheme they made against you is now a burden chained to their spirit. Every lie they told is now a shadow, echoing in their silence. They thought they could dance freely while you stumbled, but destiny has no favorites. It collects every action, every betrayal, every seed of arrogance, and feeds it back to the source. And now they drag the weight of their own choices, while you rise lighter than ever. That's why they avoid your gaze. That's why their voices shake. They don't fear you. They fear the inevitability you represent. Because deep down, they know destiny doesn't forget. It doesn't lose track. It doesn't forgive arrogance. And right now, destiny is closing in on them while lifting you into a light they'll never escape. There was a time they spoke over you, laughed through you, dismissed you like background noise. That time is gone. The power they thought was theirs has already shifted, and they don't even realize it. They're still performing, still acting like rulers, but the stage isn't theirs anymore. Destiny flipped the script, handed you the role they swore you'd never touch, and now the spotlight refuses to leave you. Watch how they stumble when your name enters a room, how their tone softens, how their confidence falters. That's the proof. Power is no longer in their hands. It's in your silence, your presence, your undeniable rise. They can't debate it, can't disguise it, can't control it. They don't run the show anymore. Destiny does. And destiny chose you. That's why their empire trembles. That's why their voices sound hollow. That's why their fear is louder than their applause. The outcast they buried now owns the crown. Time has a way of serving justice without a courtroom. Every second they spent mocking you was another nail in the coffin of their arrogance. Every year you spent in silence was a chapter. Destiny was scripting for your rise. And now, the roles are reversed. They thought time was erasing you, but it was erasing them. Their names don't echo the way they used to. Their power doesn't command the same presence. Their voices don't strike weight anymore. But your name, it carries thunder now. Your scars glow as credentials. Your silence hums like prophecy. They can feel it in their bones, even if they never say it out loud. They know the tide has shifted, that destiny's hand is no longer subtle. Every move you make lands heavier than their loudest screams. Every step you take echoes like prophecy. They realize too late that this wasn't luck, wasn't chance, it was alignment. The outcast was never broken, only hidden, waiting for the right season. And now the season has arrived, unstoppable, undeniable. That's why their smiles are weak. Their eyes dart away, their voices sound hollow, because they see it now. Your crown isn't optional. Your rise isn't temporary. Your victory isn't up for debate. It was written long before their laughter, signed long before their betrayal. And nothing terrifies an enemy more than realizing destiny chose you and won't let go. This is where everything converges. The whispers, the shifts, the silent cracks in their foundations. Destiny was never random. It was orchestrating the board, arranging every piece, waiting for this moment. And now the move is complete. You stand where they swore you'd never reach, and they fall in ways they never saw coming. Not because you forced it, but because destiny doesn't negotiate with arrogance. It rewards endurance. It crowns resilience. It protects truth. And you, the outcast, turned unstoppable, are living proof. They crumble, not by your hand, but by the weight of inevitability pressing down on their lies. And you rise, crowned not by applause, but by scars, silence, and survival. The spotlight doesn't just shine, it clings. Destiny doesn't just move, it finalizes. And the board is clear now. Only one piece remains unshaken. You, the one who rewrote the rules, the one who turned betrayal into blueprint, silence into language, scars into crowns, outcast to royalty, wasn't just a rise. It was the proof that destiny bends only for those who endure. And now the story isn't rumor, isn't prophecy, it's law, written in scars, signed in silence, sealed by inevitability. When history searches for its axis, when legends whisper their source, the answer will always be you.